You are now listening to Talk Your Jits podcast.
Welcome back to the Talk Your Jits podcast. This podcast is, as the name implies, all about Jiu Jitsu. I'm your host, Lamar Smith, and today's guest is a two-stripe white belt who trains at Gracie Barra Champions, located in Tomball, Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, Jaleel Manns.
And glad to be here, Lamar. I'm excited.
Man, I am too, man. You're supposed to have been on a few episodes ago.
Right? Yeah, you're being kind when you say a few.
But first and foremost, man, appreciate you taking some time out and coming on doing the episode with me today.
Yeah, anytime, man. Anytime I can support, I'm there.
Man, greatly appreciated. But let's not keep the people waiting. If you want to formally introduce yourself again, by all means, and let's hear about your jiu-jitsu journey.
Yeah, I'm Jaleel Manns. I train at Gracie Barra Champions, which is in Tomball, Texas, kind of at a little north of Houston, Texas proper. Professor Kurt Zettelmoyer is our professor there. So it's a great school, man. I love this. I have to love it to start again at 45, right?
Oh wow, yeah, gotta have some love for it.
Yeah.
So you trained before and now you getting back into it?
Yeah, I fell in love with jiu-jitsu back in the mid 90s, man. When UFC really got popular, Royce Gracie was like the wizard in the Wizard of Oz to me. Watching that man work was sick. And friends of mine, we gave everything we had for the pay-per-view because we didn't want to miss it. But shortly after that, I went into the Navy, and I had a unique opportunity while I was at I was in the Navy in the Naval Air Station in Norfolk, and so things were so big, it was unbelievable. There was the school I went to was Tracy's. It was a UFC school, and there I was learning a little jiu-jitsu, trap fighting, shoot fighting. It was just they threw the whole thing together, and I fell in love, but I just wasn't able to continue because I was serving. I had to go. I was with a search and rescue squadron, so I didn't get all I wanted to out of it. So after that, life continues. Kind of hard to continue. Got out of the military, got back into jiu-jitsu again, and life happened, and I was there in another Gracie school in Knoxville, Tennessee. And back then it was different. There's a lot of black belts in jiu-jitsu now, but my professors back then, or would be called coaches now, were two brothers who were purple belts, So that was pretty much the best we could do, probably early mid 2000s. I just don't remember a whole lot of black belts back then. And so now, yeah, I mean, Royce Gracie, honestly, was probably one of the only black belts I saw.
Yeah.
So,
during that time. Yeah.
Yep. So life continued, and I just found myself gaining a crazy amount of weight. Houston has tons of food, probably over 15,000 restaurants in the metro area last time I checked, and I can promise you, 90% of them are good. Right? So I found myself getting up to 283, and on my 45th birthday, I said, no, I'm not dying like this. I'm not going out this way. And so on my 45th birthday, started jiu-jitsu, and it's been a game changer, man. I mean, it's from November till now. This is what, July. I've lost over 50 pounds.
Nice.
Yeah.
What nice. You say?
Yeah, and then my doctor took me off blood pressure and diabetes medicine too. So I just find myself blessed to be in a good spot. I love jits. No matter how much my body hurts, I'm still going. It's part of the game. So I really love this, man. It's been a game changer for my life. It's been a game changer for everyone in my life around me. And I really can't complain, man. I really can't.
Right. No, I hear you, man. That's one of the excuse me, one of the the health benefits I stress to people when it comes to getting in shape, because everyone always thinks you have to get in shape to do jiu-jitsu. Like, no, it's the other way around. You do jiu-jitsu to get in shape. Because when I started, I've been doing it for like 6 years now. So when I first started training, I was, let's see, I was roughly around about 240. I'm sorry. I started roughly around, I was like 280. Yeah, close to 280. Started working out a little bit, got down to like 250-ish range. And then once I started training consistently, like I've been under like 220 for like ever now. It fluctuates back and forth, but like now with training and actually me competing now, so I've been trying to keep my weight down. So the training has been kicked up. So it definitely, man, it's definitely a good workout, man.
Yeah,
Definitely a good workout.
it's a game changer, and I can tell you, man, the raw talent at my school is unbelievable. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I rolled up my last class I went to. I rolled with an orange belt, 16-year-old kid. He missed a year and a half, but I mean, this kid gave me the fight of my life. I'm like, dude, you're coming harder than the blue belts I roll with. This is sick,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not about winning. It's not about
Mm-hmm.
winning all the time. You learn when you tap. You learn, you know, when somebody teaches you something that you didn't know. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where I really love to. I just really love the school, and everybody there has been so cool. Professor Kurt he's an animal himself. He's a lot of fun, but he works as hard. He gets it in, and that's what I want. That's what I expect is that technique is key. It's not about running through everything and just, yeah, I've been through every class and I know everything. No, it's a technique.
Yeah,
That's
man.
that's what saves you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Because when you think about, like, because of the way we train and the way our school is, man, it's very grindy. Just smashed out jujitsu, no space whatsoever. So it's geared to tire you out. So it gets to the point where all you have left is technique. All that strength and all that energy is gone. You have to depend on your technique, and if you don't got it, you out of here.
Yeah, that's true, man. Even when I started, I would never claim to be the best or even a beast. I'm confident, but I think one of my strong suits that I learned when I figured out I'm like I'm overweight, I'm out of shape, my conditioning is crap, you know. Um, and so what I ended up doing was, Professor Kurt always tells me, survive, survive,
Mm-hmm.
survive, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so I mastered this thing where I just kept putting myself in the most vulnerable positions, and now, there are people they'll tap me, but I'm going to make them work for it. That's kind of like the running joke is that, when a couple people roll off of me, they're trying to catch their breath, but I was focused on, surviving, defense,
Mm-hmm.
trying to master my breathing so that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that strategy was basically, let them wear themselves out and then move in, you know, neutralize the
Yeah.
defense and move in.
And that's a solid game plan. I'm that same way. That's something that was distilled in us ever since the first day I started training. Like, as a white belt, your main goal is to survive.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, if you rolling with the upper belt and you survive, they don't tap you, you won,
Mm-hmm.
because they're supposed to tap you. So even to this day, like anybody I roll with, I don't go speed for speed. Sometimes it depends on if we're rolling no gi, I'll kind of like try to match speed, but usually I'm calm, I'm chilling. I'll play bottom because I know my safe spots. I know when I'm in danger, so I'll just sit there, let them work and struggle. And once they start sucking wind, I'm like, yep, now it's time to
Oh
play.
yeah. But I think one of the first moves I mastered was that smother choke, man. It's just all day,
The nice little bear hug. Mm-hmm.
That's it, man. Post out, and I wasn't a lightweight at 283 starting, so that hurt.
Yeah, I got a good friend of mine's, man. That's kind of one of his, man. He's a big, solid guy. Just once he get around you, it's like, yeah, man, I'm just about to just suffocate. Gotta
Yeah,
get from under here.
the man can't
So
breathe, he can't fight.
yeah, can't breathe, can't fight. So from the time you started, when you first started jujitsu versus, I guess you want to say starting over now, like what's been like the biggest differences you saw?
Oh man, the whole Gracie organization is a lot more structured than back during that start in the '90s or maybe mid 2000s. And when I showed up, I was like, no gi, what's that? There was no gi when I was in class, so I was like, this is interesting, and so it's definitely a lot more structured. The instruction's much better. It's a lot broader. It covers a lot, the Gracie fit thing, the no gi, um, the fundamental classes. It's
Mhm.
I spent a lot of time there. I should probably have my mail forwarded there or something.
I'm telling you, man, it gets like that, dude. Like myself, like I train, what, 4 days a week now.
Ooh,
So
yeah,
actually, no, I'm sorry, it's not 4 days a week. It's five now. It's five
uh,
daw a week now.
I'm
So
not there yet.
is I'm like I keep asking myself like, why am I here? I don't want to train this much. I love it. Don't get me wrong, but it's like I wake up, yep, time to go to the gym before work, go
Yeah,
train, go to work, and all that other stuff. So I mean, I guess it's paying off because I can feel myself like when I roll now, I can do a solid 10-minute roll.
hmm,
And I'll feel it a little bit, but not as bad as it would be like a couple months ago. I'll be you ain't getting 10 out of me. Mm-mm. You may get a half of one, but tens, nah. But like I'm trying to push myself. That's what it is. I'm trying to push myself to, endure longer matches because I eventually want to try to do, if I can find a tournament to do like a submission only. So that's gonna be a lot of work.
yeah, I bet, man. I'm not at the point to compete yet. Um,
Hmm.
and hopefully, I try to rely on the coaches and Professor Kirk to let me know. Now I think we got like 6 black belts at our school now,
Wow.
and that last promotion ceremony was heavy, you know.
Hmm.
But I rely on them. They tell me, hey, give it some more time. You're not there yet. And I respect that because the last thing I
Hmm.
want to do is go compete, get heel hooked, and then I'm on crutches, for too long. So I really love the instruction, the mentorship. That really means a lot to me. Um, it's gotten me further, that push that, he said, hey, I'm not going to let them kill you. He said, but I am going to push you to your limits, so get back
Right.
in there. You're not winded. You're not hurt. Get back in there. And it's great. I love it, man. It's an odd relationship, isn't it? Like, it's
Oh
like being in
yeah.
an abusive relationship and then running home to dinner.
You get beat up, you get mad, cry about it just to do it again tomorrow.
That's it. That's it. I'm icy hot. I got my massage gun. I got, Epsom salt soaks, and I get back in there.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? You love the
It's
sport too much, man. You
I
love it too
love it a
much.
lot, and it's not for everybody. I mean, obviously, it's on my gi. It's jujitsu for everybody, but it takes. I think that aspect, because I heard somebody ask me about that, is jujitsu is not for everyone. But I think the statement is really just inferring that, if you're willing, if you're strong enough and you're willing to hang in there and learn, you can do it, whether you're an old man that's 80 years old, or you're, you know, um, just someone who's never fought before. A lot of people leave, good people, but,
Hmm.
it's, we've got a brotherhood in there. You know, we're family, and that counts for a lot. Um,
Yeah.
so it's really important to me, man. I love it. You know, I'm getting in shape. You know, it's I'm harder to kill, right? And
Right, just a little
just a little bit,
bit.
right? I'm not catching bullets with my teeth like Bruce Leroy, but you know, it's going to take a little bit more to get me, and that's fine.
Right,
Because if I got another
right.
minute, I got a chance.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah.
And but like I hear that a lot too when people say jiu-jitsu is for everybody. And I kind of do believe it because I've seen people of all walks of life walk into our gym, from people who has like never thought about doing jiu-jitsu, like joined because their partner joined type deals, and they end up falling in love with it because it's, you know, it's, for one, it's the atmosphere that you put out, you
Right.
know. Because if you have a school where, you know, they're gonna make you roll, they're gonna make you compete, they're gonna make you do stuff that you're not comfortable with, yeah, they're gonna have a distaste for it because they're gonna think every other school is like that. See us, we're like, all right, you come in, you want to learn, cool. You know, you learn what you want to learn. If you don't, if you can come in and do every single technique, every single warm up, and if you never roll, you never roll. You
Wow.
won't advance, but you gotta worry about rolling. But eventually, everybody comes around. Even my wife, like she's like consistently back into training now. She'll be actually getting ready for blue belt probably the end of the year. And I keep telling her, I was like, you got to get comfortable with this. Like,
Hmm.
if you want to advance, you got to get comfortable with this. So
Yeah.
now it's like she used to mainly just row with me, but now she's like opening up to like rep and train with other people. And I'm like, you gotta get your hands dirty with different people because,
Hmm.
you know, once you test, you got to go for it.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
man,
that's
like,
the thing. You got to get in there, and I love that. You know, I used to, when I first started, I would do the same night. So I do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night. You know, and it was like that. But then I started meeting people because we got, you know, noon classes and at 6:30 in the morning classes, and
oh,
so I
yes.
wanted to get that taste of, okay, how does this professor teach? How does this one teach? How, and
Hmm.
they all have their unique styles. They're all teaching the same Gracie curriculum, but it's still different. You know, everybody
Hmm.
explains it a little different. And then I always enjoy rolling with other people. You know, I mean, shoot. I mean, there are people. You know, I guess some of the guys from the night classes miss me, but I want to roll with those different people. I mean, there are purple belts who have been amazing. They're blue belts, like a blue belt. We got one guy at our school, 6'7", blue belt, you know, 4 stripes. I mean, this guy's throwing me up in the air trying to get me flying triangles, and I'm letting him like a maniac. You know, so it's nuts. But when you roll with those different people, everybody has a different style. Some people they're more at you, and they're not going to really say, okay, hey, you could have done this different. You know, one guy
Hmm.
he's going to say, oh, like I was, for example, I'm rolling with a purple belt, and I'm wondering, I was like, why is this guy not moving on me? Like he's not coming at me. And so I just stopped. I was like, you all right? You good? And he's like, I'm just giving you room, you know? He's like, I'm giving you
Hmm.
room to kind of figure things out, you know, and I really appreciate that. You know, I'm kind of
Oh
moving,
yeah.
and he'll nudge me a little bit, and I'll say, "Oh, okay, yeah, if I go that way, he's gonna sweep me. All right, appreciate that." You know,
Hmm.
and so that little mix of rolling with so many different people and having those different experiences is really what's shaping me, and I appreciate that. I really do.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that like a million percent because before I started this podcast, I have never been to another jiu-jitsu school, just my own. So one of the guys from the earlier episodes invited me to his school. His school is called Voyage, and they're more of a competition sports style, you know, school. So went to one of their no gi Saturday classes, and it was a 90-minute class. Maybe we did like 2 or 3 techniques, and then the rest was just hard rolls. And I damn near died. because I wasn't used to that pace.
Yeah.
I was able to work I was able to work my game. I saw what worked, what didn't work. Because what was fun about it was no gi. Nobody knew what belt rank what nobody was.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
Yeah.
looking at, okay, who this guy, that might be this guy, that might be this guy, just depending on how they move. But yeah, I just took what I learned from that, and then the next time I went back, I had an idea on what to expect, and everything went a whole lot different.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's like I always like employ people. Like if you love jujitsu so much, obviously, if it's okay with your school to cross train, but yeah, go visit other schools. Like get a good wide eye view of what what jujitsu is, because it's more than just what you learn at your school.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Yeah, I mean, and those are by seeing the other schools too. I mean, there's literally one in walking distance from where I live, but
mhm.
I'm in the back of my mind, I kind of have that loyalty thing, like you're not
Yeah,
supposed to do that. Um, but the point to that too is that those are the people I'm going to be competing against. So seeing them, kind of understanding how they're learning and seeing how they flow and how they move is important too. It's valuable to me as well. So
yeah.
uh, that's important. Um, yeah.
Because like what really made me do it was when I did my first tournament, um, and I'm like, once again, I'm just used to what our style was. So when I went out there and competed, and I'm like, oh, this competition sport as style is serious. From the movement, the pace, the intensity. I was like, yeah, I'm not used to this. I am not used to this at all. So that's when I decided to find some other schools. I met some cool people, and I just been really studying up on that. So like the second time I competed, did a whole lot better. Survived a little bit longer, still lost, but survived longer. So I'm like, all right, man, it's getting there. By the time I'm getting there. I'm getting there for sure.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the things I had a conversation with that same purple belt that let me kind of roll and kind of flowed with it. Um, he said something to me that just got my attention. I was rolling with somebody else and I heard him say, um, he was like, "Yeah, if I could start all over again at white belt, I would have started competing earlier."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "You would go back to white belt and start all over and compete? Why?" And I had to find out. But he said that if had he started earlier, he would have had a better understanding of what competition is. Because
Yeah.
I haven't competed yet. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
there yet. I'm working on my conditioning, but man, it's an experience. It's almost like UFC to me, right?
Yeah.
Watching all these hard hitters come at each other, and we've got gold medals coming into the school. There are people I roll with, and I'm like, dude, how you submitted that dude? That was sick. He's
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, yeah. It's my third competition. I was like, just shake it off then, right? Not a big deal to you. It's kind of a
It's
big deal
light
to me.
work. It's light work.
Yeah, light work. We got a guy, he's killed it in all gi, but he's never competed no gi. So now he's trying
Mm-hmm.
to kill it there too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so the two have their own little nuances, and I get it. But I think there's some valuable lessons to be learned there, and
Oh
when it comes
yeah.
to competition.
I agree with him completely, dude. Like I swore off competing. Like I never entertained the idea of competing until like purple belt. I'm like, I'm like, why am I doing this? Like I'm not even a competitor, like whatever. But once I did it that first time, I was like, damn, I wish I would did this earlier.
Yeah,
Wish I would did this a whole lot sooner. But yeah, I'm like him. If I could go back and tell my white belt version of myself, like, dude, find every competition you can find, and just enter it. So let's see what
yeah,
happens. Because like especially now at brown belt, it's hard getting in competitions now, because you only get one or two matches unless you're doing no gi and absolute. That's the only way we're going to get those heavy matches. Because the last few I've been to, I've had what, um, 2 matches in gi and and 3 matches in no gi.
Mm-hmm.
The whole entire, and I was there the whole entire day.
Oh man.
So it was just like my division no gi. No, my division gi was first, and then I think like 2-3 hours later was my no gi division. So I'm just sitting around, just bored. Like, man, this sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I remember seeing that on Facebook because I think, did you win the one before that?
No, no, I didn't win the first the one before it.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
But
because I was
I did
watching.
post about it.
Yeah, I was surprised that you didn't win. I was cheering for you in the back of my mind, and then when I saw the post, I was like, that sucks.
Yeah, I was cheering for me too.
Obviously, the other guy wasn't.
Right, I know, right? But I competed with I faced him twice. I faced him at the first grappling industries I did, and I faced him again at the last one. And that's another thing about competing at high belt. You usually run into the same few and small group of people.
Yeah, it's not a lot of you brown belts and black belts out there.
Nah.
Yeah, yeah. So it comes with it, and there are lessons to be learned, and it's cool. If I'm not in a full body cast, then I'm okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm the same way. I'm like, if I'm, shoulder hurt, knee hurt, ankle hurt, wrist hurt, everything hurts right now.
Yeah.
But I'm still breathing, and I will be at class tomorrow.
That's right.
I will be teaching class tomorrow, and tomorrow is no-gi, so
Oh yeah.
that's how we do it.
For us too. Yeah. Gotta love it. And I try to encourage people. We got a new guy in there, and I've seen all his kids roll, and then they just made like some sort of executive decision in their family. Now the whole family's rolling, mom, dad, like 3
Nice.
kids. And he was a little bit hesitant. He's like, I don't know, I want to get in better shape before I do no gi. And I was like, no, don't do that. Just go. I'll see you tomorrow. Yes. Shake your head. Yes. See you tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah. Because like you were saying earlier, right? I mean, you do jujitsu and you get in shape. You don't get in shape and then do jujitsu. It happens as long as you continue to show up.
Yeah. Cause you don't even think about it really. Because you're down there. You're the only thing that you're thinking about is, oh crap, I don't want to get killed.
Mm-hmm.
So you're fighting. You're going 2, 3, 4 minute rounds without even noticing, and then once everything is over, you're like drenched in sweat, and pounds are just falling off.
I'm telling you, I sweated probably half of that 50 pounds on the mat and all my practice partners. Shout out to all of you, man, for just soaking up all that sweat. Yeah. Dude, I sweat after the warm up, and I barely made it through that when I started.
Yeah, man, this it's a killer, man. It's such a killer, and it's like we're trying to kick it up now, so it's like, what are we doing, man? What are we doing?
There's really no explanation for it. We're all crazy on some level, and that's okay. We're family.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Wouldn't change it, man. Wouldn't change it for the world.
Mm-mm.
So have the thought of competing cross your mind? I know you said you haven't competed yet, but have you like considered it?
Oh yeah. I mean, I was told to give it another 3 months, and then we'd have that conversation again. I probably lost 3 pounds in that. I mean, 30 pounds in that last 3 months. I'm doing my own conditioning on the side, so I do some cardio, and it's a shame. I know I lost some muscle too along the way, so I'm building my muscle back up and shedding the pounds. So I'm looking forward to competing. It's still kind of an unknown to me because you don't really know how good you really are until you hit the battlefield.
Yeah.
How good or how bad you are, or how, if you need more work, I should say, not bad, right? But I'm looking forward to it. I really am, because I think that's where a lot of my education is going to come from. I believe the purple belt who told me that, and you reinforced that just now. So I want that experience. I want that knowledge because I can work with it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if somebody cruises through my guard or something like that, I'll be like, all right, cool. Let me work on that. You know, but
Yeah.
it'll give me a clear picture of where I need to focus specifically, besides just surviving. You
Right.
know, what do I need to fine tune a little?
Yeah, because you get used to the guys you roll with at your school, obviously, because you see them every day. So you roll with
Mhm.
them every day.
Right.
So it's a good breath of fresh air when you're able to get some new bodies.
Yes.
So, because what was it, last weekend? My memory is so crap right now. I think it was last weekend. Shout out to my boy Johnny Puent. He was on the episode a few episodes back, invited me out to his school to do a seminar, and me and him got a chance to roll. And he's not used to pressure passing, and
Oh, okay.
that grindy pressure passing, and he
Mhm.
was just looking like, dude, what the hell? I was like, yeah, man. I was like, that's what we do. We don't, we punish people that's under us.
Oh yeah.
Like, you
Oh
give
no
us
doubt.
space, I'm gonna take it, we're gonna consume it, and it's
Mhm.
over. Like, you're not
Oh
getting
yeah.
it back.
Oh yeah. Try to bridge if you want. Don't worry. I'll post it up. I'm waiting. It's okay.
Right.
You know, but I love the pressure passing, and you know, professor gets on me when I'm not as tight as I could be. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and that's his job. I love that. Um, but did you know Ed O'Neill does jujitsu?
Yeah, he's a jiu-jitsu black belt.
Yeah. Did you see the video of him? Because there's very little video of him. Um,
What video did I see? I think it was it wasn't a video of him rolling or anything, but it was just like a clip of him standing talking to somebody on the mats. And I saw a few pictures circulating that he was a black belt.
yeah. I mean, the clip I think probably wasn't any more than a minute. But if you talk about pressure passing, I mean, this dude was. I rewinded it. I was like, "There's no way that guy could get up from that. There's no way." And you know, and he was just kind of flow and smooth with it. You know, but the guy
Mm-hmm.
was. There's no way. There's no way he was getting out of that. And he was
Oh man,
slow. He was
I gotta find that
methodical.
video.
Yeah, there's not much on them, but who knew Al Bundy knew jujitsu?
Yeah, I think when I found out about it was a couple years ago. Either he had his black belt or he just got his black belt. And then that's when like you started to see more and more celebrities doing jujitsu.
Hmm.
Because you had like Demi Lovato, now you got Tom Hardy who just got his purple belt. Keanu Reeves. I'm not sure if Jonah Hill still does jujitsu, and Ashton Kutcher. I think he's a brown belt now.
Man, that's crazy. What's it? Barry Bonds does jujitsu. He just got his blue
He just
belt.
got his blue belt.
Yeah,
Yeah, he just got his blue belt. I'm like, and what Barry Bonds was in his 50s or something like that.
yeah, I think.
Hey
Man,
man, it's never too late.
I was a big fan, and it's odd seeing this because when I first started watching this in the '90s, it was kind of like jujitsu was a well kept secret, you
Yeah,
know, and now it's mainstream. You know, Mark Zuckerberg is doing it, and Dana White says that Elon Musk has done it. You know, when I heard the talk, it basically inferred, Mark practices, Elon, you know, maybe not
we
so
don't know.
consistent. Yeah, but I mean, a man's probably got to keep an eye on his money. I get it,
Right.
but it's odd seeing it be so mainstream and to see so many videos on Facebook and YouTube in my feed, and just seeing all this instructional stuff. Um, it's evolved into something I never really pictured it being, which is, um, like we were saying earlier. I mean, people are able to jump into jujitsu. Doing karate or taekwondo and getting kicked in the face may not be your cup of tea, but
Sure wasn't mine.
no, me either. In fact, that's how they got me at the first Gracie school. He gave me a tour of the gym, and I was like, okay, this is nice. And it wasn't anywhere near like Tracy's in Virginia Beach back in the day,
Hmm.
UFC training school. It was much bigger, elaborate setup. They had pros running through there. But as I was walking out the door, I told him, I was like, let me think on it. I'll be back. And then he gave me some statistic, like 87% of fights end up on the ground. What are you going to do? And I was like, what am I going to do? I'm going to go back in and sign up. That's what I'm going to do.
So I'm about to join class. That's what's about to happen.
Yeah, that's it. And then it's fun.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, it's fun because, I really appreciate the open embrace. Is that my second school really was all about, it was actually attached to a shoe store their dad owned. So if I wanted to go in and train, I go in through the shoe store, their dad would let me through, hit the weights, work on my conditioning, do some drills. And he was a beast in his own right too. He was the first to introduce me to a rear naked choke.
Nice.
And, imagine me in like my, mid to late 20s, and I said, "Bring it, old man," and he's like, "All right, I got you." Next thing I know, I'm like, "Wait, I'm fading out. Grandma, is that you?" It's like, and he humbled me. Like I had to check my ego at the door after that. Because you make assumptions about people and what they know and their age, and there's some young guys, young cats at the school too, who, they saw me overweight and my belly hanging over, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's my guy. That's the new white belt. That's my guy, right?" But I got that middle-aged man strength, and they underestimate that. I can take a whooping, I can handle it. So don't sleep.
Right.
So it's been fun, man. I regret nothing. Well, I do regret one thing. I regret kind of not sticking with it earlier, because I would have been so much further along. But I don't regret a thing, other than that. I wish I had stuck with it before.
Yeah, that's my thing there, man. I was like, I always sit back and I just think like, dude, what if I would have found jiu-jitsu 10 years ago, 20 years ago? Because growing up, I don't think I've ever heard of jiu-jitsu until, the Ultimate Fighter. And it was always karate, taekwondo, kickboxing. That's all you saw. And I remember walking into a gym as a kid, and I saw a kid not that much older than me get kicked in the face. And I'm like, this ain't it. I'm like, nope, I don't want to do this. I still wanted to do it, but I didn't want to do it because I just saw that. But like now I'm thinking to myself, like, man, I wish I could have. If jiu-jitsu was around when I was a kid, dude.
Yeah, that would have been a wrap. I mean, and some growing up, I saw some of my friends who were, I had a friend, he was a brown belt in karate, and that was his thing. He's like, "I'm a brown belt, you can't mess with me." But I watched him take a beat down too at school, and when I reflect back on that, it wasn't a lack of skill on Jason's part, because the dude was a beast. He was, for a teenager, he was a beast. But there were no ground skills. There was no
right.
Once he got down, dude was just smashing it. And I'm like, yo, let's get him off. It's over. Stop, dude. Let him go. Right. But jiu-jitsu, oh, please come on down here. Please come in the water with the shark. Come swim with me, please.
Right.
Yeah.
Because people always, it's not as much as it used to be, but like you always see people, crack jokes about, every jiu-jitsu player like to fight on their back, but that wouldn't work in the street and blah 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 blah. But like, you have to understand, like, yeah, the fact that we're able to fight off our back doesn't necessarily mean we have to. It's just an option that we have if we was to get to the ground.
Right.
Because if me and you fall to the ground, you not knowing what I know. I know once I hit the ground, like, oh yeah, I can get up faster than him. I can move quicker than him. So like you said, not taking from your boy who he was a beast on his feet, but he wasn't on them feet. He was on his back.
That's right.
You can't kick when you're on your back.
Boy, if you only knew about turtle, it's up there, right?
Right, just ball up and pray.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
it.
about it.
Wait for them to make a mistake and and capitalize.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's an amazing journey, and as my conditioning gets better, I plan to cross train a little bit. We've got a vicious coach, Juliana, at our school. She had 8 UFC fights. She teaches
Nice.
kickboxing, so I want to add that to my repertoire. But what I'm learning from some of my partners really is that some of them are splitting their time, a little jujitsu here, some kickboxing there, and some people excel with both. But my focus, I know me. My focus needs to be on Jits and deal with that first and become a little more proficient before I start mixing it up. But eventually, I want to add that to the repertoire, that and the boxing, and so then it's fine. Whatever you want to do. You want to stand up? You want me to sit down like Gordon Ryan or something? It's cool. We can do it however you want to do it, right?
Say pick your poison player.
Yeah, pick it. Roll the dice. Let's play.
Oh
Like Dave
yeah.
Chappelle. Let's play. Right?
Yeah, because I just started cross training too. My work schedule kind of like opened up a little bit more, so I started taking privates with our kickboxing coach, and man, we
Hmm.
what I think it was last week we did a strength and conditioning little workout, and I was feeling that class for like the next like 3 days.
Uh-huh.
I still feel it. And this was last week, and I still feel it. Like every time I move, like a rib might twinge or like an ab might hurt a little bit. I'm like, dog, that's so crazy. But I love it, man. I love it.
I would
Love it
wouldn't
so
trade it.
much.
Would not
Wouldn't
trade
like,
it.
yeah, would not trade it for the world. If I could do it more, I would.
Hmm.
Like even right now, I would like. I mean, I could because I have access to my gym. Like just go leave and just go to the gym and just work out, do a couple, grab my wife, go roll, come home, go to sleep, type deal.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
man.
man.
It's amazing how far we could go. I mean, if I won a lottery, yeah, I'd be there all the time. I'd have a massage therapist on retainer, unlimited membership to cryotherapy and the IV plate. Right? I
For
would make a
real.
career out of it.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure, for sure. And it happens so fast. It's like you find out about this sport, you find out about the martial art, and you start learning the history, and then you start seeing like the how much it affects you outside the gym,
Hmm.
and then next thing you know, your whole life is engulfed in jujitsu.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
everything about myself, like everything about me is jujitsu. From what I
Hmm.
wear, from how I how I carry life, is everything is 95% jujitsu.
It's amazing how it just takes over your life like that. But like I said before, it's just going back to your attacker, asking for more, and we're okay with it. So I'm it's inexplicable. I don't even know how to tell somebody. I could tell them come roll, experience it for yourself, but I can't explain it until they experience it. When they experience it, they're gonna say, okay, they're gonna go one of two ways, right? One, you invited me here and you're a sick man. Don't call me again, right? Right? Or they're gonna say, ooh, give me some more, right?
Right,
And so
right.
that's that select few, but it's not for everybody, and that's okay. Not everybody is made to endure that, to find out about those muscles you didn't know they have. That's cramping up on you, like, oh, where's that in my back? Because I don't know that muscle,
Right.
right? But it's revolutionary. I just transformative. There's not a whole, I'm sure there's a million words in a dictionary, but it's just something that has to be experienced. Has to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you said, it's so hard to explain. Like I can show people videos. I can talk to my like till I'm blue in the face
Hmm.
about how awesome it is, how much it affected me mentally, physically, emotionally, or whatever the case may be. But until you actually get out there and you get your hands dirty with jujitsu, you're never going to like fully understand it.
Yeah, nobody says, yeah, let me pull over at that school right there because I want to get choked today. Nobody does that.
Nobody says that.
No, because you know what's coming in there when you see them roll. Like I'll see people come in and they don't want to do the trial lesson, so they sit there with everybody else and watch. I watched one dude. He was like, he heard me scream because this guy kind of fell back. It was all on my technique, but he fell back on my leg, and dude's like, almost I would say like 305 or something. So my knee got, I fell back on my leg and hyperextended my knee, and so I screamed out. That was the first instinct was, "Ow, that hurts!" Like and so there was a guy watching. He saw that happen. He's like, "Nope." You can hear his car keys. He's like, yeah, I'm like, even a dude that fell on me, he felt so bad, And Justin, if you watch this, come back, man. We miss you. But he came back. Like he thought I had to go to the hospital. Like my leg was broken. I'd gotten up. It happened right at the end of class. So, I got up. I was good. I didn't really, and you know how these things are. You don't really feel it till the next day.
Right.
So he's like, man, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. He's like, bro, things happen. I'm okay. I'm breathing. I got a pulse. I'm good. I'm good. And that's where, it's not for everybody. Not everybody can handle that. But these are the things that shape us into who we are. We develop this mental toughness, this physical toughness, this emotional toughness that most people may never experience their entire lives. And I feel bad for them.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I can never not tell people like, nah, just come. I don't care how old you are. Just come on over. Come on over. Give it a shot. I don't care. Well, I got a bad hip. Well, use your other hip. I got a bad knee. Well, use your other knee. I don't care. Just come try it. Just come try it.
Yeah. No excuses. just give it a fair shake, and by the end of that first class, it's for me. I don't think. Well, it wasn't my first class. Maybe like my third or fourth class. Professor put me with this big dude. Man, Luke is an animal. He plays rugby, right?
Oh God.
So Professor comes to me. This guy's got like 2 stripes on me or something, and so we're matching up. And I find a new white belt, and Professor's like, Jaleel and Luke, I like that combination. Go. So so this guy is like all over me. I'm like, man, make it. I'm tapping. I'm out of breath. The professor just looks down at me. He was like, "You're not hurt, right?" No. Get back in there. Get back in there. Let's go. Let's move. I'm gonna push you. And it just seemed like, for the whole time Luke was there, he would always pair me with this guy because we went hard. I had no choice with this guy. He was coming for me. I had to be ready. And he helped. He helped shape me. He really helped develop my defense. I had no choice. I got tired. You know how it is as a new, white belt, and my arms were killing me from getting arm barred every class, and I had to stop putting it out there, stop reaching, keep my frames, and Luke, thank you if you're watching this for helping me learn that lesson. I appreciate that, but it's just you try to deviate. If you panic, you try to use your strength and you deviate from the technique, and then that's where you start the downward spiral. It doesn't pay to try to abandon the technique and use raw power or strength. Even if you are stronger than another person, you're going to pay for it later because you're just, that it's like a battery indicator. All right, you're at half. You're at a quarter. All right, now he's got you arm barred and you don't have enough juice to get out of it. Guess what?
Right.
You do. Yeah.
Right. But you know what actually helped me a lot develop, because we're really not a big school. We're actually growing now. I think this is the biggest our school has been in a while. And I think we got I think it's like 12 of us now, 12, 13 of us. But what really helped me was the fact that I was our instructor's main uke. Like We had one guy named Andrew. Shout out to my boy Andrew. He was, oh my God, he was a monster, dude. He was one of the smallest guys in the school. So just like he said, he had to develop a game that works for him. So by the time I joined school, he was a blue belt, and his guard retention was phenomenal, dude. Like
Mm-hmm.
unbelievable. Like you could not keep this dude down. And talking to him, like, man, like, how'd you, develop that? And then once I started to see the class, everyone was in the 200s, you know, big dudes, big
Yeah.
dudes. He was the smallest. So he's like, yeah, I had to develop something to keep these smaller, to keep these bigger guys off me. And so fast forward, he stopped, he had, he kind of like fell out of love with it, stopped training. So I've, been working with the instructor. So it's like every technique that we go over, I've been in. I
Mm-hmm.
felt, almost every single arm bar, every single lapel choke, every single whatever. To the point now, if we're going over class and he's like, okay, we're going over side control today, and depending on the first technique he goes, I'm like, okay, shit, he about to show XYZ. So I prepare myself for it. But after a while, you just get used to being submitted. You don't care no more. It's like, yeah, I know how far my arm can go. Like, I know how far that can go. I know how I can play around with this. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
I get
getting your
that
ass
too.
kicked, getting your ass kicked helps.
Hey, it's the best lesson because you get tired of it. You get tired of,
Yeah.
your
Mm-hmm.
arm hurting and you like, for example, there's a purple belt there, man. Leland he's an animal. His cross collar choke is deadly. So we rolled 6 minutes. He's tapped me 4 times with that. And each
Mm.
time I'm thinking, oh yeah, all right, yeah, I got it from last time. I know what I did. I'm not gonna do that. And he's so patient. He's like, all right, cool. And he's so technical and methodical about it. He's like, all right, step one, right? And he's taking his time. He's waiting for me to mess up, and then he's just locking them in. And I'm counting it. I'm like, all right, step two, step three, hand is up, ready to tap. He's like, he's so good at it, and and I'm learning from that. But
Mm-hmm.
he's the one who strengthened me when it comes to defending against like that or an armbar because like for example with a lower white belt or maybe even a white belt at my level, I can feel that when they do the armbar. I can feel if their technique is not tight, and that's what
Mm-hmm.
tells me whether I'm tapping or if I'm fighting it. you know
Right.
Now the purple belts are all tight at my school, so it only took one time. I was like, yeah, I think I can get out. No, 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 no. you know, and he's standing over me. You all right? You all right? Like my pride is hurt, my ego is hurt, but yes, I'm fine. Yes. So
He
you
said,
learn those
I turn
lessons.
my music up and cry about it in the car.
Best way to do it is in the shower, man. You just say, hey, I got a little shampoo in my eye or something.
Right. Said the shower hide my tears.
That's right.
Oh man. But Jaleel, we got a question, man. I ask everyone who comes on the show. It kind of became the staple of Talk Your Jits podcast, man. So the top three people you would like to roll with.
Oh, oh boy. Um, Audra Gracie.
Mm.
Uh, I'm still a big Royce Gracie fan till the end of time. Um, and I'm very curious about Gordon Ryan. I'm curious about the King. you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I would say those are and there's so many, man. Danaher. I mean, I'm gonna stick with the first three because this could be a rabbit hole. So I'm gonna stick
Oh
with
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
yeah,
yeah. That's why I said top three, because if I would say top 10, we'd have been here all day.
all day
Like,
long.
nope. Top three people. Give me your first three people.
Yeah, I wanna feel some submissions from the Gracie family directly, and I think even if it was a quick roll with Gordon Ryan, it'd be a gift to my nogi game.
Definitely.
Um, yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
But man, if you got any questions for me, man, by all means, if you got anything coming up, you want to shout out your school or whatever, man, the floor is all yours.
I got man, and nothing to shout out right now. I mean, shout out to all the professors there, Professor Terrence, Professor Kurt, him first. I mean, all the black belts at my school are phenomenal instructors in their own way, and they've shared their gifts. They've blessed me with that. So that was, I really want to shout out to the whole school. Really, man, we're a tight family. It's always been tight from when I started Gracie, back in the day till now. I still have that feeling of home. So shout out to GB champions. And, I see you guys in class. But, if there's something that comes up, I'll definitely share. There's always a million competitions going on here in Houston. If I can get some footage or something, share it with you. I'm more than happy to do that.
Oh yeah, man. I'm always down to talk shop. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's nothing like talking jits with somebody else. That's a top conversation, and even the UFC, oh, dang it, I left my boy out. You said top 3. Damn it.
Who was you thinking?
Last Stylebender, man. Izzy Adesanya.
Is he really?
Izzy, yes. Izzy.
I mean, he's been training with Galval. I think he's a blue belt now.
Mm-hmm.
Or I think he might be purple by now. But I think last time I checked, he was a blue belt.
His determination, his fire inspires.
I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah, he talks a game. You win some, you lose some. But he's
I get you.
Yeah. It's rare that I'm voting against him in one of his fights. It's rare.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that.
Hey, we can always have another episode. I gotta hear it.
We'll talk about that later, though. We'll talk about that later for sure. Yeah. But yeah, that's the end of today's episode. I would like to thank Jaleel one more time for coming on the show and blessing us with his tales and experiences. I hope you guys did enjoy it. Please go and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to stay updated on all future episodes. This has been Talk Your Jits podcast. Keep rolling, keep grinding, and remember, long live Jiu Jitsu. Have a great day.
Yeah.